Welcome to Domain 1, Section 1.2, AI Roles and Responsibilities. In this session, we will map out exactly who does what when an organization builds or adopts artificial intelligence. We will cover the 4 broad families of AI roles, the special duties of the governing body, how to handle internal and external stakeholders, and 3 practical tools that keep everyone aligned: the AI Charter, the AI Steering Committee, and the question of whether your organization is a provider or a deployer. Why does this matter beyond the exam? When you understand these roles, you can look at any AI project and immediately see who is accountable when something goes wrong. You can also tell when a project is missing a key player, such as a compliance voice or a clear executive owner. And in your own job, it helps you know exactly which person or committee to raise an AI concern with, instead of watching it fall through the cracks. Effective AI governance is really a set of oversight mechanisms. Their job is to manage risks like bias, weak information security, privacy violations, and outright misuse, while still leaving room for innovation and trust to grow. Good governance is never the work of one person. It pulls in a wide circle of people, from the engineers who build the systems to the everyday users to policymakers and ethicists, so that the technology reflects the values of society rather than the blind spots of a single team. The exact roles in any organization depend on its size and on how it adopts AI. A company that only buys ready-made AI tools from outside vendors may have no AI developers or operations staff at all. Think of a kitchen. A tiny cafe might have one person who cooks, serves, and orders the supplies, while a large hotel has separate chefs, waiters, and purchasing managers. The roles scale with the operation, and AI is no different. Let's group the roles into 4 families, starting with leadership and strategy. These are the people who set the direction. Executive managers set the tone at the top, sign off on the AI strategy, and carry ultimate responsibility for how AI affects the organization and its stakeholders. The Chief AI Officer leads the overall adoption of AI and reports up to executive management, and this can be a dedicated person or a duty folded into an existing senior role. Alongside them sits the AI Steering Committee, a cross-functional group that offers insight on strategy and flags opportunities and concerns from across the business. The second family is developmental and operational, and these roles usually live inside the technology group. Development builds the AI solutions to meet specific business needs, and this group includes data scientists, engineers, researchers, and developers. Operations then deploy and maintain those solutions and the infrastructure that runs them. Product management sits in between, bridging the gap between the technical staff and the end users so the solution is actually usable. The third family is the users and the roles that support them. End users are typically employees or customers who actually use the AI in their daily work or life. Human resources supports employee users through job classification and the right training. Customer service supports customer users when they have questions or run into trouble. These roles are easy to overlook, but a tool nobody can use well delivers no value. The fourth family is governance and oversight, the people who keep everything honest. The Governance Committee oversees the AI program and its policies and reports on how the program is performing. Risk management folds AI into the organization's wider risk planning. Information security and privacy protect data and systems throughout the life of the AI solution. An internal audit independently checks AI-related risk as part of its audit plan. Let's zoom in on the governing body, because it carries unique weight. A governing body sets goals that reach beyond money to include the culture, values, and ethics of the organization. And it works through tools like policies, strategies, job descriptions, regulations, training, performance indicators, and executive communication. The crucial point is this: the governing body is accountable for everything the organization does, and that accountability cannot be handed off to someone else. So before adopting any new tool, technique, or technology, including AI, its members must weigh the consequences carefully. The governing body also has to decide whether a given use of AI fits its risk appetite, which simply means the amount and type of risk it is willing to accept. That appetite can shift quickly, as circumstances change. So a proactive governance system gives the organization the ability to adjust, pause, or even cancel a project when needed. Importantly, the governing body is not responsible for the inner workings of the AI system itself. Its duty is to stay informed about both the possibilities and the dangers. One specific danger is anthropomorphizing the AI, which means wrongly crediting a machine with human qualities like thinking, judging, or moral reasoning. Treating a statistical tool as if it were a wise colleague is a recipe for misplaced trust. Because members can be held legally accountable for harm an AI solution causes, they must regularly review and improve 5 things. The first is management, through policies, strategies, resource allocation, and ethical codes. The second is supervision, by evaluating the solution's value, its risk, and the quality of its decisions. The third is evaluation of internal and external factors, such as emerging threats and opportunities. The fourth is reporting, to show interested parties that AI is being governed responsibly. And the fifth is oversight or final approval of change management whenever AI use shifts. Now let's talk about stakeholders, the people affected by or interested in the AI. It is essential to weigh both internal and external perspectives. Best practice follows 5 steps. Map the stakeholders to identify everyone relevant and their concerns. Prioritize those concerns so the most pressing are handled first. Engage and communicate by updating people regularly and responding to feedback. Build in ethical AI development with clear frameworks. And keep monitoring and evaluating the AI's impact over time. Done well, this builds trust and squeezes the most value from the solution. Consider the internal stakeholders first. Senior leadership and the board need to see that AI aligns with strategy, delivers real value, manages risk, complies with the law, and honestly addresses fears of job displacement. Employees need training and reassurance that AI will support their work rather than disrupt it. And the technical teams need to confirm the infrastructure is secure, the deployment fits the wider strategy, and the data is good enough in quality, quantity, and accessibility to support the system over the long term. Then look outward to the external stakeholders. Customers and end users want AI that is easy to use, protects their data under privacy laws such as the General Data Protection Regulation and the California Privacy Rights Act, is clear about how it affects them, and is free from discrimination. Partners and vendors need systems that integrate smoothly, open communication, and shared ethical standards. Regulators and policymakers expect compliance, honest dialogue, and proactive reporting. And the wider society expects AI that is socially responsible, inclusive of diverse and marginalized groups, mindful of its energy use, and transparent enough to ease fears of misuse. The first practical alignment tool is the AI Charter. A charter is a guiding document that formally defines the scope, objectives, and work of an AI initiative, so everyone shares the same expectations. Picture the blueprint and building permit you agree on before constructing a house. The charter plays that role for an AI project. It names and describes the initiative, sets specific and measurable objectives, and defines what is in scope and, just as importantly, what is out of scope to stop the project quietly ballooning. The charter keeps going. It identifies the internal and external stakeholders. It lays out the governance structure, including the steering committee, the sponsors, the working groups, the reporting lines, the decision-making process, and accountability for managing change. It sets a timeline with milestones and outlines the resources and budget needed from people to technology to data. It records the main risks and their mitigation strategies. It defines how success will be measured, using metrics like return on investment, accuracy, adoption rate, and performance indicators. And finally, it captures formal approval through the signatures of key decision makers. The second tool is the AI Steering Committee, which provides strategic oversight during and after the project. Its core job is to keep AI initiatives aligned with organizational goals and to make the big calls, such as changes to budget and scope, and how to handle risks and challenges. It also makes sure AI practices stay ethical and compliant by reviewing the policies on AI use, data handling, and bias reduction. For the steering committee to work, its membership must be cross-functional, drawing from every business line the AI touches. A typical committee has a chairperson who is a senior leader, such as the Chief Information, Technology, or Data Officer. It includes project sponsors who fund or champion the work, domain experts from business units like operations or marketing, technical experts such as data science and security leaders, and compliance officers who give legal and ethical guidance. The group meets on a regular schedule, monthly or quarterly, with extra meetings called when urgent decisions cannot wait. The final piece is understanding your organization's own role. A useful question to ask is whether the enterprise is an AI provider, an AI deployer, or both. Under the European Union's AI Act, a provider is any person or entity that develops an AI solution or model and puts it on the market, whether for free or for a fee. A deployer is any person or entity that uses an AI system in a professional capacity. Think of a vehicle manufacturer versus a taxi company that drives those vehicles for hire. Each one carries very different responsibilities, a theme we explore further in the shared responsibility model. Let's bring it all together. Effective AI governance assigns clear roles across 4 families: leadership and strategy, development and operations, users and their support, and governance and oversight. The governing body holds ultimate, undelegable accountability, and it must stay informed, mindful of its risk appetite, and wary of treating AI as if it were human. Stakeholders, both inside and outside the organization, must be mapped and engaged. And 3 tools keep everything coordinated: the charter that defines the work, the steering committee that steers it, and a clear understanding of whether you are a provider, a deployer, or both. You have built a solid picture of who is responsible for what. Every important topic and idea from this session is covered in the multiple choice questions on RooCloud.com. Before you move on to the next session, work through the chapter-wise questions there, because testing yourself is the fastest way to turn this material into exam-ready knowledge. Practice first, and then move forward with confidence. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.